Ah, hello. Once again, it is I, Mr. Cinema Junkie, and I am fresh off of seeing the movie Warm Bodies. If you're not familiar with this movie, it is a love story of sorts. Um, you got your infected zombie types. You have your enclosed city keeping the zombies out. And you have a ragtag group of people who are out getting supplies and medicines. In the course of an attack from a zombie horde, one zombie tends to notice one of the girls from the team and kind of falls in love with her. Doesn't completely understand what he's feeling, but he's feeling a little more less dead. As time goes on, he starts to feel things like cold, and he has dreams, and he sleeps, which are all the things that zombies aren't supposed to do. And she starts to get hip to the fact that something's changing in him. We are shown that his heart starts beating again because of what he feels for this girl. Then the other zombies see what's going on between them, and their hearts start to beat again, thereby curing themselves from this sickness that they've been infected with. There are two types of zombies in this movie. There are the zombies that we're used to, and then there's something called bonies, which are very skeletal and they eat anything with a heartbeat, much like the zombies do, but they're a little more animalistic. When this movie first came out, I was like, "Oh, great! This is like Twilight, but for zombies." But then I thought, maybe I'm wrong. I wasn't wrong. The zombie genre has taken a hard left into Dum Dumville, and I blame us. We saw it coming. The diehards, the horror fans, we saw this coming a while back. When people started to post stickers of zombie families and little things, I heart zombies, and making zombie cookies and zombie cakes, and just things of that nature. They started to take the edge off zombies. Now, yes, there were some so-called zomcoms like Zombieland, which was still kick-ass. You still had zombies, you still had to kill them. They had a kind of a funny edge to it, but still the rules stayed in place. You had some movies like Return of the Living Dead that had kind of a comedic edge to it, but it was still hardcore and it was just fine. Nobody kissed a zombie and made him become human again. This, if you're going to find a cure for the zombie, fine. By trial and error, a serum of some sort that kind of either keeps them domesticated or completely reverses the virus, sure, I'm on board with that. But this bullshit of holding someone's hand and reviving your heart and becoming a person again, that is strictly for the Twilight crowd. That's the way I see it. I can see, the tweeners and the teeners getting into this kind of stuff and being all, oh, it's so dreamy, and that's fine. And maybe some of the people who melt seeing Twilight, some of the older gals, they go in there and they're like, oh, so sweet. She fell in love with a 600-year-old pedophile. Oh, so beautiful. She doesn't know she wants to be molested or mounted by a dog. Oh, ooh. Okay, I could see them getting into this kind of movie, but the diehard zombie fans, please steer clear. It's if it was a zomcom, I could give it a pass. I could say, okay, it's a zombie comedy, but it didn't, for me, it wasn't even good at that. It wasn't funny. The situations weren't funny. The whole thing was ridiculous. I basically gave it a shot because John Malkovich is in it. Now I think John Malkovich is a hell of an actor. He was grossly underused in this movie, and why? Because it wasn't about his character, and it wasn't about, him handling zombie action. It was about a girl and a zombie falling in love. That was it. So if you thought Twilight bent the vampire genre over and gave it the big high one, this movie's doing the same thing to the zombie genre. And before you know it, Hot Topic will be carrying the whole line of zombie merchandise that shows a romantic side to the undead. And I will weep on that day. Did I like the movie? The only thing I liked about the movie was the gag reel. I always enjoy a good gag reel no matter what the movie is. When people lose character, when people, cut up and act silly and stuff, I always appreciate that. That's in the special features. But people who saw this in the theater didn't have special features. But people who saw it in the theater probably liked it a lot more than I did. So basically, my whole take on Warm Bodies is because it's definitely not my kind of movie. It's, finding romance in a situation where there's, zombies all around you and stuff like that, fine. The last great romance between the dead and the undead was at the end of Return of the Living Dead Part 3. And that was when the girl that he brought back to life with the trioxin, his girlfriend who died, he brought her back to life, and she kept craving human flesh. And every time she hurt herself, it would take away her urge to want to eat flesh. But finally, that came out of control. So he saves her, but in the process, he gets bit. He's not dead yet. He's not a zombie yet, so he's still human. And then he tells her, "We know what we got to do." And they're looking at each other, loving eye lock, and they go into a furnace and burn themselves. They destroy themselves. Forever one. That was the last great zombie romance. This, I don't want to say something as strong as this, but I find it disrespectful to the zombie genre, quite frankly. So yeah, I didn't like this movie. This is solely my opinion. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that liked it. A lot more people probably liked this movie than didn't like this movie. But for me, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't even good as a zombie. Not even a funny type of take on the zombie thing. Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland, excellent movies. I could watch them over and over. This one, glad I didn't buy it. It was a rental. Taking it back as soon as I finish this video, I guarantee it. So that's the only review I have right now. I wanted to focus all my energy on Warm Bodies and give a warning to those of you out there who kind of take their zombie movies a little more seriously. You can loosen up a little bit on certain things. Last of the Living, another excellent zomcom. Love that one. But Warm Bodies, nah. Fail. In my book, big time fail. Well, thanks for letting me come into your homes and give you my unwarranted opinion on what could possibly be a very popular movie amongst the teenagers and the 20-somethings. But for me, nah, ain't liking it. You guys take care. I'll be talking with you soon.